Planet Dolan.
From a man who dismembered prostitutes to a Satan-worshipping rapist, we count 10 serial killers who somehow attracted groupies. Hey there, I'm Hellbent. I'm here to learn you suspiciously amazing facts that I didn't just make up. Number 10. You'd think there'd be nothing attractive about a man who picks up and dismembers hookers, but I guess beauty is in the eye of the beholder, because for Victoria Redstall it was a huge turn-on.
I might get an STD before he chops my head off.
The sicko in question was Wayne Adam Ford, who actually sent his victim's severed breast to police to taunt them. He was eventually caught, and when Victoria heard his story, she found a way to get introduced to Wayne in prison. Wayne was super happy to see Victoria because she was a busty British actress who, get this, was a spokesperson for a breast enhancement supplement. Just his type. Yeah, baby, make those breasts bigger so I have more to send the police when I slice them off. They didn't do anything crazy when she visited him in prison. They just sang together and talked about their childhoods. Victoria saved a picture of Wayne as her cell phone background and told people she trusted him with her life. You know, like all those hookers he murdered. But what do I know? Maybe the real Wayne is just a sweet, sweet misunderstood soul and she's gonna fix him. You don't even understand him. Or maybe she just really hates prostitutes and this is her way of finding somebody who shares her passion. Why do I care? It's not my tits on the line. Number 9. If you think crime doesn't pay, serial killer Jeffrey the Milwaukee Cannibal Dahmer will prove you wrong. Jeffrey received over $12,000 from his disturbed fan base across the country. He was in prison for the sexual assault, murder, and dismemberment of 17 men and boys and was also known to partake in a little bit of necrophilia and cannibalism. Jeffrey was caught when one of his victims was seen running handcuffed and naked down the street. The case was pretty clear-cut. It only took 5 hours to convict the murderous psychopath. He was given 16 life sentences, but he didn't even get to serve one whole life sentence because he was murdered by another inmate in 1994. Number 8. Unconditional love is great and everything, but surely there has to be some conditions. I mean, if you found out that your significant other chewed their fingernails or, say, murdered minors, well, those would be deal breakers, wouldn't they? Apparently not for fans of serial teen killer Charles Schmid. Schmid proved what a lot of people have always suspected. You can pretty much get away with anything if you're good looking enough. His 1960s trial attracted record-breaking crowds of women who came out just to get a glimpse of him. He was like the Elvis of child killers. Even widely respected author Joyce Carol Oates wrote a story about him. Number 7. Okay, apparently you don't need to be good looking to find love. Turns out there's hope for everyone, even one-eyed mass-murdering monsters with rotting teeth. Ladies, tonight only I present to you Henry Lee Lucas. Ooh, eat your heart out. Henry allegedly killed hundreds of people, including his own mother. Ooh la la. Though only 3 of these could be confirmed, so don't get too excited. He shared an unhealthy interest in death and rape with his thieving friend and secret lover, Otis Toole. The pair got up to all sorts of unsavory shit together. But despite all these issues and maybe a little bit of incest, Henry still attracted the attention of several female admirers from prison. He even had a plan to exonerate himself by posing a fan as one of his victims. It failed in a spectacular way, and Henry died in prison in 2001. Number 6. Everyone and his dog knows about the notorious Charles Manson. His cultish fan club, the Manson family, makes any family look normal. Manson famously commanded his followers to break into the home of starlet Sharon Tate and go on a murder spree. So, you know, even before he was convicted of a crime, he was a charmer. When Manson and his followers were arrested, old Crazy Eyes Charlie became a celebrity and a counterculture hero. Women flocked to his murder trial, sent him letters vowing their servitude, and visited him in prison. In 2013, one of Manson's many groupies, a young woman named Star, announced to the world that she would marry the 79-year-old. But Charles was like, "No way, man, you can't tame Charles Manson." I think these women are crazier than the people they obsess over. Even Charles Manson is like, "Oh no, fuck this lady, she's fucking nuts. Guards, get this crazy bitch away from me. I ain't marrying you, get off me." Number 5. Despite being incarcerated for murder and having a really goofy name, Joran Sloot had more than his fair share of groupies. Where's this asshole from, fucking Neptune? I am Joran Sloot. Take me to your women! Anyways, this guy gets hundreds of letters and received at least 2 serious marriage proposals. Joran is serving a 28-year sentence in Peru for the murder of Stephanie Ramirez. He's also a major suspect in the disappearance and presumed murder of Alabama teen Natalie Holloway. Wow, what a dick. I don't really feel bad for making fun of his name now. Interestingly, Natalie was reported as missing 5 years to the day before Stephanie was murdered, which, as the French would say, is fucking suspicious. Oh wait, he's French? I still don't believe it, he's gotta be Neptunian. Joran Sloot! Number 4. Kenneth Bond was one half of the Hillside Stranglers, 2 Californian cousins who gruesomely strangled a dozen women to death. Ken's terrible claim to fame is that he was the first person to convince a groupie to kill for him from prison. Veronica Compton was so in love that she willingly became a pawn in Ken's murder plot. She attempted to strangle a woman to death so authorities would think that the Hillside Strangler was still out there and downplay Ken's sentence. Unfortunately for Ken, Veronica's victim was too strong and ended up overpowering her. After a stint in prison, Veronica eventually lost interest in old Ken Dolan and became involved with another serial killer, Douglas Clark. Oh, I'm shocked. A wannabe killer isn't loyal? Who could have seen that coming? Number 3. John Wayne Gacy isn't exactly a lovable individual. He was overweight, narcissistic, and committed dozens of horrific murders and sexual assaults, many of them while dressed as a clown. But as the old saying goes, there's someone out there for everybody. Enter Jason Maas, a college student who wrote to Gacy claiming to be working on an assignment. They spoke on the phone every Sunday, and to pique Gacy's interest, Jason pretended to be gay. The act was convincing, and Jason was able to visit Gacy during his 14 years on death row. Of course, Gacy, true to his psychopathic nature, turned violent during the visit and tried to sexually assault Jason. Jason survived, but was traumatized by the ordeal. He went on to put out a book about serial killers before finally succumbing to his long battle with depression in 2006. Number 2. To many women, Ted Bundy's chiseled features and charm overshadow the fact that he brutally killed at least 30 women. Also, the fact that he was a known rapist and necrophile didn't quite turn him off either. Not unlike other killers on this list, confused fans loved him and flocked to his trial. One of the women, Carol Ann Boone, or she prefers to be known Head Crazy, married Bundy during the trial and went on to have his kid. It didn't end with his trial either. While Bundy was incarcerated, he received 200 letters a day from his crazy fan club, many of whom thought he was innocent. Even today, years after his execution, a new generation of followers is obsessed with him. Just goes to show you could be a horrible, murdering, corpse-raping piece of shit, but if you got a good personality and a nice face, people will still like you. Number 1. Richard the Night Stalker Ramirez was a thief, rapist, and serial killer who got a kick out of breaking into strangers' homes and murdering them in the 1980s. He also worshipped the devil, but hey, let's not dwell on that. You know, that's not so bad, is it? Let's move on to another detail. Cindy Hayden, a juror at his trial, somehow fell head over heels for him. She even got him clothes and a Valentine's present. Oh, what a sweetheart. Unlike his victims, love is clearly not dead. Though I gotta say, someone prone to falling in love with murderers probably shouldn't be on any jury ever. Naturally, Richard was convicted, but once in prison, women from all over lined up to visit him. Not quite sure what the attraction is. Maybe it's a bad boy thing, or maybe it's like a power fantasy, like, ooh, this guy had people's lives in his hands and he killed them, yeah, sploosh! Richard obviously loved the attention and played them off against each other in order to make them jealous. He eventually married one of these superfans in a prison ceremony before dying of natural causes in 2013. What's the moral of the story? Nothing. It's just kind of fucked up. But that's all I got for now. Who's your favorite serial killer? Would you marry them? What do you love about them the most? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you next time.
In it, Brady takes the reader into the mind of a serial killer and explains its clockwork. He tries to convince readers that serial killers have great insight into themselves and presents a theory about the origin of the modern-day serial killer, including profiles of famous killers like Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy.